In real life projects, we get data from multiple sources. So join operations are used to combine and analyze data from those multiple sources based on a common column, which further helps us in doing deeper data analysis. In this video, we will be learning about joins and the type of joins in Pyspark data frame. Let's get started.
Details of an employee like their name and their age, and we have another data frame, department data frame, which contains department related details of an employee like employee name and their role, and they can be linked or combined using name and column name column. Why? Because they are the common columns between both data frames. So the name of column can be different, but the values are same. So if you see here, we have Abhishek, whose age is 25, and when we go to department data frame, we get to know that he is an analyst. David, who is 30 years old, is a manager. Ziva, who is 35 years old, is a developer. While Arun and Rishabh are available in only one data frames. Now let's go to Google Colab and actually create these data frames. Here I have already installed Pyspark and also initiated a Spark session. Now let's create our first data frame, which is employee data frame. So here we have created our first data frame. Now creating second data frame, which is department data frame. Here we have created both the data frame. Now let's go back and learn about inner join. To understand the concept of inner join, let's look at the Venn diagram. So it says that after applying inner join in two data frames, we will be getting the records which are matching from A and B. Let's look at the example of it. Here we have two data frames as we had created, and in the final table we are getting Abhishek, David, and Ziva. Why? Because they are the matching records in A and B. Now let's go back to the Google Colab and learn about the syntax of inner join. For that, we can simply, here we have to write the name of first data frame and then use join function, and then let's look at the parameters of join function. So here we have first parameter as the data frame. So here we have to mention the name of second data frame that we want to join, and the second parameter is on. It says that on which common column you want to combine these two data frames, and the third parameter is how, so which kind of join you want to use. Let's go and let's write here department df, and second parameter we will have to mention the name of column, name, and we will need to use equal operator here. Let's give the third parameter, which is how, and we can mention here inner join. Let's run it. After running it, we are getting the same table that we saw in PPT. Here we are getting Abhishek, David, and Ziva. Why? Because there are matching records in both the data frames. Guys, instead of this dot show, we can also save it in a variable. Let's see how it works. We can mention here inner join data frame here, and then we got a variable here and do dot show. So that's about the syntax of inner join. Now let's go back to the PPT and understand outer join. Outer join is also known as full outer join. So from Venn diagram, we got to know that after applying outer join in two data frames, we get all the records from A and from B. Let's look at the example part. Here we are getting Abhishek, Arun, David, Rishabh, and Ziva. So we are getting all the records here. But here, since Arun is only available in the first data frame, we are getting null in the second data frame values. And same for Rishabh, which is available only in second data frame. So we are getting null in the first data frame columns. Let's go to Google Colab and understand the syntax of outer join. So to understand the syntax, let me tell you, we would be changing only this how parameter here. So instead of inner, we can mention it as outer. Let me copy it. And what I am saying is instead of how, you can mention outer here. That's it. You do not need to change anything. And let's delete this for now. And at last, we can mention it as show. So here we have got all the records and the null in this column and in this column, since this belongs to the second data frame. Guys, reiterating it once that these are not in place operations. We will need to save it in a variable as we did it here in the inner join. Now let's go back and understand about left join. So from Venn diagram, we got to know that after applying left join, we will be getting all the records from A, but only matching records from B. On looking at example, we see that we got Abhishek, David, Arun, and Ziva. Basically, all the records from A, but only matching records, which were Abhishek, David, and Ziva. So Rishabh is not here. So that's how left join is going to work. Now let's go back and look at the execution part. We can copy the syntax from here and in how we will be changing it to left. Okay, let's also do dot show here. So this is the result that we got, and in place of Arun in the second data frame, we got null and null. Now let's learn about right join. So from Venn diagram, we can see that after applying right join in two data frames, we will be getting all the records from B, but only matching records from A. Now you can consider this one as left table and this one employee name and role as the right table. So after applying right join, we will be getting all the records from right table and only matching record from left table. So we will be getting all David, Ziva, Abhishek, and Rishabh, and only matching records from A. So this is opposite of left join. Now let's go back and execute this command. We can copy this syntax here. And instead of left, we can give it as right. We have got null and null, but all the records from B are present. Now let's look at some advanced joins like left semi and left anti. From Venn diagram, we get to know that after applying left semi join in two data frames, we will be getting records from A, but only if there is a matching record in B. From example, we can see that, okay, here we have Abhishek, David, Ziva, and Arun. And here in the final table, we are getting Abhishek, David, and Ziva, and only it is showing the first data frame values. On looking at Venn diagram, we got to know that after applying left semi join in two data frames, we will be getting matching record from A, but only if there is a matching record in B. Now let's look at the example. So from example, in the final table, we are getting Abhishek, David, and Ziva only. Why? Because there are matching records in B. Also, there's one more thing to see. We are getting the values from first data frame only. So that's how left semi join. Let's go back to the Google Colab and execute it. So we can simply copy the syntax. This is the exact left semi join data frame that we saw in the PPT. So the next join we are going to learn is left anti-join. And on looking at Venn diagram, we got to know that after applying left anti-join in two data frames, we will be getting records from A, but only if records are not matching in B. So left semi is opposite of left anti. Now let's look at the example part. Since Abhishek, David, and Ziva are matching in both the data frames, since Abhishek, David, and Ziva are present in both the data frames, we won't be getting those values. We will be getting only Arun, which is available only in the A data frame. Let's look at the execution part. We can simply copy it and change it to left anti. Here also we can do the same. Here we have got only one record since this record was only available in A data frame. So those are the type of joins I wanted to cover in this video. Here we learned about inner, outer, left, right, left semi, and left anti join. Guys, the link to this PPT and to this notebook is given in the description below. Thank you so much.